this is Jed Johnson from Diesel Crew and thegripauthority.com. You know, one of the questions that I get most often about grip training has to do with grippers, and specifically, when should I move up? When should I make the jump from a number 1 gripper to a number 2? Or when am I going to be ready to get from my 2.5 to a 3? It's very hard to actually give a good answer for that because everyone's different. Everybody progresses differently. It may take some person years to go from being able to close a number 2 gripper to closing a number 3 gripper. A lot of that depends on what set they're using, how often they're training, how old they are. It also depends on what gripper they have, because grippers do vary. There is some variation between grippers. With the calibration systems that they have now, a number 3 gripper can range from, I've heard, as low as like 135 pounds up to 165 pounds. So that's a great variation. Only 2 or 3 pounds is enough to make you unable to close a gripper. You can close a gripper at 160, but like 162 you may not be able to close. So just 2 pounds is a lot, let alone 20 or 30 pounds of variation. So what should you do? This is what I suggest, and this is what I wish I would have done when I first started out. I should have just gone and bought all the grippers right away. I would have saved probably 50 bucks on shipping had I just gone and bought everything from the trainer right up to the number 4. What I ended up doing is I bought a number 2, and then I bought a 3, and then I wanted another 3, so I bought another 3. So there I'm looking at 60 bucks worth of grippers plus about 10 bucks worth of shipping every time. Now the rest of my grippers I either bought from the company themselves, or I got from other people that were unloading their grippers. They were done training grips, so I have quite a collection of grippers now. But what I suggest is getting all the grippers right now, at least from trainer to 3. Whether or not you get the slots in between the whole numbers, that's up to you. But definitely the trainer 1, 2, and 3 I think are prime for getting those. And then whether you get a 4 or not, that's up to you. But the thing is, training with those heavier grippers is going to make it easier for you to close the lower grippers. What I found in my training is that when I started squeezing the number 2, then I was able to close the number 1 every single time, and a lot of times for multiple repetitions. When I started working on the number 3, the number 2 became no problem. I was already closing the number 2 sporadically, but once I started working with the 3, the number 2 was a piece of cake. It really was. So again, I suggest you get all the grippers. And when should you move up? Start moving up right away. Start doing partial closes, full range closes, no sets, sets, choker work. All of this stuff is very, very beneficial to your gripper training, especially if you're going to compete in grip contests. Grip contests, the way the grippers are closed, it varies all over the place. So sometimes there's no sets, sometimes there's credit card sets, sometimes there's parallel sets, sometimes there's a set where you have to stick something like a small piece of wood in between the handles before you close them. There's all kinds of variations. Sometimes the grippers are closed in a choker, which is like a hose clamp, and the handles are already positioned in parallel. So there's a lot of variation in the way the contests run as well. So when should you move up? Start moving up right now. Go get the grippers, at least trainer through 3, and then start squeezing all of them. Now, if that's not an option, you don't have the money right now, and you already have, like, let's say you have a 1, you want to know when you're ready to go up to the number 2. If you can close the number 1 for probably, for some people, 5 repetitions, for other people 20 repetitions, you should be able to close the number 2. Like I said, everybody's different. It depends on the grippers that you're actually working with, because they all do vary. And then also, hand size has a lot to do with it as well. If your hand's so big that it engulfs the gripper, you're probably going to have somewhat of an advantage if you're doing no set closes. If your hands are really, really big and the fingers are actually hanging off the handle, that's going to actually be in your way as well. It's going to hinder you. So again, a lot of it comes down to individual difference, and it's hard to say without actually seeing you close a gripper. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment here, or also, I have a whole section on gripper training at thegripauthority.com. It's $7 to join, and then it's $17 a month. And for that price, I mean, that's like, what is that like? That's less than a cup of coffee every day at Dunkin' Donuts, so, or Starbucks. So it's pretty cheap. And each video, each month is, at least 20 or 30 minutes worth of instruction plus a workout of the month. And a lot of people are getting really good results from the programs that I'm setting up. Plus, there's a ton of other bonuses that are already set up. There's tons of content on it right now. So to join now, you're really getting a lot of information. All right, I hope this was helpful on the grippers. And like I said, if you have any other questions, please let me know and check out thegripauthority.com. Thanks, and all the best in your training.